Viewers and subscribers, welcome back to Wizards of Sports TV. It's your most informative, inspirational, and educational host. Sports is Greg. Pretty soon I'm gonna become the most entertaining, but for right now we give that to Oral Tracy. Anyways, and today's program, I would like to go a little bit outside the box, and I've came up with some scenarios. Since we're in the midst of the transfer window, a month or almost a month so far since the transfer window opened, the European transfer, that is for soccer, football, whatever you call it, your side of the globe, wherever you are. And there have been quite a few transfers so far, and there have been a bunch of rumors. But I just want to step away from the transfers that have actually happened or those that have been rumored and say, what if this club went for this player, So I've decided to pick, I'm using the top 6 teams. I'm giving them 2 players each that I think would take them to the next level, or, to compete for a championship, or, improve their team drastically. And those teams are Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United, Man City, and Tottenham Hotspur. No offense to Newcastle and West Ham fans and Leicester fans, but those are the 6 that I'm gonna work with today. So, like I said, 2 players for each team that I think would improve them and take them to the next level, or have them competing. Like in City's case, they haven't won a Champions League yet, to enter Champions League glory. Man U and Arsenal's case haven't won the Premier League in a very long time. Give us another shot at the league title. Spurs haven't won the trophy in a very, very long time. Give them a shot at something. So here goes. I'm actually gonna start off with Spurs, since they're the least accomplished trophy-wise of the top 6 teams. So I'm gonna start off with them. And the 2 players that I've actually singled out that could come into Tottenham's team and improve them drastically are 2 fullbacks / wingbacks. They're players that can play in the back 3, which Antonio Conte loves dearly, or the back 4. And by the way, these are players that I said it's ludicrous transfers, because you would have to be thinking crazy to think, okay, this team would approach this team for that player, but there is still a possibility based on the length of their contracts, or how much playing time this player is getting, or who the team has brought in that is going to compete with them in this position. So I'm going to start off with Zinchenko, who is at Man City. He's their current left back. For his country, Ukraine, he plays as a midfielder, but in Conte's system, which most times is a back 3 / back 5, he could slot in as their left wing back. And the person they have playing there right now is Ryan Sessegnon. So Sessegnon is, like I said, he's a left winger, but Zinchenko is more of a fullback, or wing back / midfielder. So he would work way better in Conte's system right now. And he's he's won like 3 Premier Leagues with City, so he will be bringing that experience over there as well. And like I said, you see him with his national team, Ukraine, how he puts a team on his back at times and carries them. So he would be a great addition to this Spurs team, this current Spurs teams, because like I said, their left backs right now pretty under par. Sessegnon as a left wing back, or Davis, who plays left centre back or left back if they're playing a back 4. So it will be Zinchenko as their left back or left wing back, and Reece James from Chelsea as the right full back / right wing back. No, Chelsea fans are gonna hate me for this because you know people have been calling Zinchenko name. I mean Reece James' name for a few weeks now. I mean he's been linked with moves to City. You know he's been linked with all kind of moves away because his contract runs out pretty soon and there has not been a new contract agreement with Chelsea. So if I was Tottenham, their director of football or whoever runs their football business, and I want to make a statement, you know, Emerson Royal is my current right back / right wing back, I would approach Chelsea. I would approach Reece James, you know, because even when he's fit, sometimes he shares his game with Aspilicueta. You know, he's not always a starter, even though he's the way superior player, if you ask me. So I would approach Chelsea, approach a player. You know, Chelsea, if we can convince a player that, look, this is the plan we have for the team and you're going to become an integral part of it. If he chooses not to re-sign with Chelsea, then Chelsea might not have a chance but to sell him. So, you know, another ludicrous transfer, but it's one that I see could work, you know. Anyways, that's enough time on Tottenham. Moving along, the next team, I'm gonna go with Man U, and they have a lot of areas that needs to be identified, singled out, you know, taken care of. But I'm gonna go with this one quickly. Two players that I see could come into Man U right now and make vast improvement on their team is Heung-min Son, left winger from Tottenham, and Ike Gundogan from Manchester City. Now, Gundogan, if his contract is not up this summer, it will be up next summer. I think it is up this summer because they were trying to re-sign him. But he is a player that can come in and make a vast difference in that midfield. He is a number 8 that, you know, he may not give you the work defensively as some as a number 8, but his ball handling, you know, his late runs into the box, almost like Frank Lampard, you know, scoring goals. And like I said, his ball handling, passing, taking the ball from the defense and transitioning into attack. He is very, very, very good at that. And Heung-min Son, I mean, there's not much that can be said negatively about him, you know. As a winger, center forward, he is a brilliant goal scorer. You know, some people complain that he goes missing for 2-3 game spells at a time, but this is a player who for the past 4 seasons for Spurs have been probably their number 2 goal scorer, you know, behind only Harry Kane. You know, well, this season he finished above Harry Kane in the goal scoring. So I think Son is a player that he could improve any of the other 5 teams in the Premier League right now, any one of them. But Man U, I think, stand a better chance. They would appeal to him more. I don't know why I think this, but I think Man U would appeal to him more if he was to transfer from Spurs. So those are the 2 players that I think could come in, make vast improvements at Man U, but it would be really hard to make those transfers happen. But they are possible. Moving on from Man U, I'm going to go to Arsenal, and the 2 players that I came up with for Arsenal are Bernardo Silva from City and Rashford from Man U. Now, as for Bernardo Silva, we all know he wants Champions League. You know, Arsenal is not able to afford that this season. But if I'm trying to get him from City, for one, his game has come on a thread for the past 2 seasons. You know, and this season, the coming season be no different. You know, City is always bringing in players that plays in that position. And himself, like Raheem Sterling, has always have to fight to keep their game. Now, if I'm Arsenal, I'm going to him and saying, look, you're coming to this club. We're on a transition. We're on a rebuilding path. This is where we're headed. And we want you being a mature player, because he's now over 25. We want you being this mature player to lead this new era at the Emirates. You know, you're gonna be the face of the club. This is what we're offering you to play. this is gonna be your role. You're gonna be the key man in this team, because technically right now Arsenal is there are a few senior players, but it's mainly youngsters, and him slotting into that Arsenal midfield would make a world of difference. I mean, who would be the best player in that team currently? So I would try to convince Bernardo Silva, because I mean, as long as you offer City the right amount, it seems like they're willing to part ways with him. It would be the player that Arsenal would need to convince. And the next player, like I said earlier, is Rashford. Doesn't seem to be working out for him at Man U, but we see the quality that he possesses. We see, you know, what he can be, the potential. So if Arsenal could convince him that, look, come over here and play, see if you can regain your form, you know, regain the edge that you had. Arsenal doesn't have a left forward or a left winger right now as good as him. I mean, as much as I like Martinelli, he is not in Rashford's class at the current moment. So, you know, he could come in and make a world of difference in this Arsenal team. But another crazy transfer, one that will be pretty hard to see happening, but it would be a possibility. You know, the player would probably hold the key where this one is concerned, just like with the Bernardo Silva. Moving on from that, my next stop is on the other side of London, where Chelsea resides, and their two players is at either end of the field, in Joel Matip from Liverpool and Harry Kane from Tottenham. Now, Chelsea have lost a few defenders. Christensen left, Rudiger left, who they need back another player like Rudiger, and to me, Matip is the closest one right now that I see among the big six. By the way, this is just amongst the big six, like players that you could probably potentially steal from either of your main competitors, if I hadn't explained that earlier. So Matip from Liverpool. I mean, the reason why I think this could happen is Klopp seems to believe more in Konate, or at least he seems like he's ready to hand over the reins to Konate. Matip is a bit older, as we can see, so it might be a Van Dijk Konate pairing for the coming season and seasons to come, until at least Van Dijk is replaced. So if I'm Chelsea, I'm going to Liverpool, I'm going to Matip, and I'm offering them a package that they cannot refuse, because they need a defender like that, like yesterday. You know, like I said, with them losing Rudiger, they need a defender like that. And if Thiago, with his injury record, if he's out at times, Matip can also be that senior defender in their back four, back three, whatever it is they use. So Joel Matip and Harry Kane, like I said, Chelsea do need a striker. They just sent their £100 million man Lukaku, sent him back to Inter Milan on loan. So they are gonna need a number 9, and who better in the big six to go for than Harry Kane? You know, I mean, there's lots you can use to lure him to the bridge that Tottenham are able to offer him right now. Apart from Champions League football, which Chelsea has, you know, there's nothing else that Tottenham can tell him that, you know, or there's lots more that Chelsea can offer that Tottenham are not able to offer him. So those are the two players that I could see going into Chelsea this season and making a world of difference in that team. Time's running, so I gotta go real fast. My next team is second place finishers, Liverpool. And the two players that I had picked out for them is Kovacic and Gundogan. Now, Gundogan for them because it's midfield, it's where they need strengthening. Their front line right now, they have a 5 because Mane left. They have a front 5 right now that can shred any defense in the world apart. You know, and they have a pretty solid defense. Their weak link right now, their weak point is in midfield. And I said Gundogan and Kovacic. Kovacic because ever since they lost Wijnaldum, they lost a bit of energy out of that midfield. You know, energy that Fabinho or Henderson or Milner are not able to give them. And even though Keita is pretty attacking, on the defensive end, he does not give them that. Wijnaldum was able to give them a lot defensively and offensively. You know, Kovacic might not be as clinical in front of goal like Wijnaldum was, but he brings a lot. I mean, he's good in the pressing game, just like Wijnaldum was, or Keita is, or, you know, Thiago is. So he's very good at that. And Gundogan, who was his best was when he worked with Klopp at Borussia Dortmund. Would be good to see him link up with Klopp again. You know, and even though I mentioned Gundogan for Man U, you know, I'm just putting it out there as he's a player that could come in and improve that Liverpool midfield right now. So that's it for Liverpool. Kovacic and Gundogan. Some Liverpool fans might not agree, but I think they would be an upgrade. Apart from Fabinho, there will be upgrades to the current Liverpool midfield. I mean, I know some Liverpool fans are going to say Thiago, but he stays fit for a third of the season. So if you ask me, it doesn't really matter. I mean, he doesn't really make an impact. So having cover for him, or having someone who he covers, would be really good for them. And finally, City. The two players that I would go for right now if I'm City are, they're actually up front. And the reason I'm going there is we see where Sterling might be leaving, Gabriel Jesus seems like he's leaving, even though they brought in Haaland, who's a 9, and Julian Alvarez, the young Argentine, who I'm not sure if they're going to keep him this season or if he's going to go to loan again. But the two that I would go for if I'm City is Mohamed Salah and Christian Pulisic. Now, Liverpool fans, calm down. The reason why I said Salah is because he has a year left on his contract, hasn't re-signed yet. You know, City can be bold. They can offer him the bag and a lot more. You know, he could bring their first Champions League to them if they're able to convince him. And I don't want nobody to tell me about loyalty to Liverpool, because I guarantee you, if City step forward right now and offers Mohamed Salah £300,000 a week and offer Liverpool 70 million for him, there's no way either player or club is turning that down. No matter how much of their rival City are, they're not turning that down. So if I'm City, Mohamed Salah and Pulisic, he's gonna add something different to that midfield / wide forward / number 10 / false 9, which Klopp loves to play so much. I mean, which Pep loves to play so much. Because currently they're only gonna have, if they lose Jesus, they're only gonna have one out-and-out striker in Haaland. So bringing in someone like Pulisic, who can play as a false 9, would be a great addition to that team, you know. But that's it. Those are my ludicrous transfers. Let me know what you think about them. Are there any other players from the current Big Six that you think your team could possibly lure? And would they make an immediate impact on your team? Would they improve your team drastically? Let me know in the comment section. Until next time, continue to like, share, and subscribe. Peace. Bless.